This feels like one of those moments where you can almost sense something shifting with this team, because the 49ers just got a big update, and it's the kind of update that actually matters as we look ahead to what's coming next. If you're locked in on this team right now, this is exactly the type of information you want to be paying attention to, because it's not just one thing, it's a few different pieces starting to line up at the same time. And before we get into all of it, if you're someone who checks in for daily 49ers coverage and you like staying ahead of the curve instead of reacting late, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications on. We're building toward that 1,000 subscriber goal, and every single person helps more than you probably realize. Now let's set the stage here. Kyle Shanahan finally spoke for the first time since the Colts game, and that timing alone is important. Because of the schedule, because of the Monday night game, because of the built-in rest day. We hadn't heard anything official. So naturally, that silence had a lot of fans reading between the lines. When Shanahan talks after a stretch like that, what he says carries extra weight, especially when it comes to injuries. And right away, the focus goes exactly where you'd expect it to go, to George Kittle. But before we even fully unpack that, I want to get you involved early, because this has been a lot of fun the last couple of weeks. We're doing the prediction challenge again, and today's question is a little different. With the Bears coming in more rested, and with the 49ers needing everyone to contribute, how many rushing yards do you think Brian Robinson Jr. is going to have in this game? Drop your number in the comments. Every correct answer matters, and it also gives us a great read on how confident everyone is heading into this matchup. And while you're down there, quick yes or no. Does this game feel tougher to you than people are making it out to be? The reason this update feels so big is because it touches on availability, momentum, and timing all at once. This team is coming off a statement performance, and now we're getting clarity instead of guessing. That alone is valuable. As we move forward in this video, we're going to break down exactly what Shanahan said, why it matters, and how it connects to the bigger picture of where this team is heading right now. Because when you put all of this together, it starts to feel less like survival mode, and more like a team finding its rhythm at the perfect time. When Kyle Shanahan finally spoke, it immediately brought some clarity to a situation that had a lot of people guessing. And it started with George Kittle. There was no Kittle at practice, and on the surface, that's the kind of thing that usually sets off alarms. But then Shanahan followed that up with something that genuinely matters. He said Kittle has a chance to play against the Bears. That one sentence changes the entire tone of the conversation, because it tells you this isn't a long-term concern, and it's not something the team feels forced to rush. What that really confirms is what many of us suspected all along, that George Kittle is truly day-to-day. Not the kind of day-to-day where you hear it and still expect a multi-week absence, but the version where it actually means he could wake up feeling good enough to go. And that's important, because at this stage of the season, the 49ers aren't guessing. If there was real concern, you would hear it in Shanahan's voice, or you'd see the language change. Instead, the door is very clearly open. This is also where context matters. Normally, Shanahan speaks after a Sunday game. This time, because it was a Monday night game and Tuesday was a rest day, there was a delay. That gap created uncertainty, but it didn't create new damage. Now that we've heard directly from him, the picture is a lot clearer. Kittle missing a practice doesn't mean he's trending the wrong way. It means the team is being cautious with one of its most important players. And here's the part I want your opinion on. If George Kittle is close, do you want him out there against the Bears, or would you rather the team give him one more week? There's no wrong answer here, but I'm curious how you're thinking about it, because it really speaks to how confident you feel about the rest of the roster right now. Drop a number from 1 to 10 in the comments for how confident you are that he plays. The bigger takeaway, though, is that this is good news. This isn't a setback. This isn't a surprise downgrade. This is exactly what you want to hear when you're heading into an important stretch. The team knows what they have, They know what's at stake, and they're managing it carefully instead of emotionally. And as we keep going, this update doesn't stand alone. There are other practice notes and injury trends that quietly reinforce the same idea, that the 49ers are getting healthier, not thinner, at the right time. Once you zoom out from George Kittle, the practice updates start to tell an even more encouraging story, because it's not just one player moving in the right direction. Ricky Pearsall being limited at practice is another really positive sign. Limited might not sound exciting, but at this point in the season, limited is exactly what you want to see. It means progress. It means the arrow is pointing up instead of sideways or down. And when you combine that with the way Pearsall has been trending recently, it reinforces the idea that the 49ers are slowly getting key pieces back into the mix. Renardo Green falls into that same category. He was already limited, and the fact that he maintains that status tells you there hasn't been a setback. Consistency matters here. Teams don't always get healthier in big, dramatic jumps late in the year. Sometimes it's about avoiding negative surprises, and right now the 49ers are doing that. They're stacking stable practice, days, and that's how you build toward availability on game day. The one situation that's a little more nuanced is the Goss Matos update. Seeing him listed with no practice because of the hamstring naturally raises eyebrows, but this is where experience with this coaching staff helps. We've seen this exact pattern before. A player comes back, contributes, and then gets an extra day built in. The injury designation stays the same, not because things got worse, but because the team is managing workload. It's similar to how veteran rest days look different on paper than what's actually happening behind the scenes. So let me ask you this. Which one of these guys coming back or trending up matters most to you right now? Is it Pearsall? Is it Green? Or is it someone else entirely? Scroll down and let me know, because I think it says a lot about how you view this roster and where you think the biggest need is heading into the Bears game. The key theme running through all of this is stability. There's no panic, no scrambling, no last-minute shuffling. The injury report looks like a team that knows exactly where it is in the season and is confident in its depth. And that confidence doesn't come out of nowhere. It's connected to how this roster was built, and it's connected to some decisions that didn't get a lot of attention at the time. One of those decisions, in particular, has quietly paid off in a massive way, and it's something that deserves a closer look as we move into the next part of this conversation. One of the more interesting things about this season is how the conversation around free agency has shifted, because for a long time it felt like the 49ers were being criticized for what they didn't do instead of appreciated for what they actually did. There were plenty of people pointing at missed opportunities, talking about big-name defensive linemen or splash moves that never happened. And to be fair, those players were available. But what gets lost in that discussion is the value of the moves that were made, especially the quieter ones. That's where the Mac Jones signing really stands out. It didn't generate headlines at the time, but it ended up being one of the smartest decisions the front office made. When Brock Purdy went down and missed time, the season could have easily started to drift. Instead, the 49ers stayed afloat, and a big reason why was Jones stepping in and doing exactly what was asked of him. Not trying to be a hero, not forcing anything, just running the offense efficiently. When you see analysts go back and reassess the offseason, that matters. Being recognized among the top free agent acquisitions tells you this wasn't just passable quarterback play. It was legitimately valuable. A 76 passing grade, an adjusted completion rate over 80%, and still ranking highly in overall impact despite limited starts all point to the same conclusion. This move directly contributed to where the 49ers are right now. What makes it even more impressive is how this fits into the bigger picture. This coaching staff has a history of maximizing quarterbacks who buy into the system. We've seen it before, and this was another example of that philosophy paying off. And once Brock Purdy got healthy, his play shut down any lingering questions. That's exactly how you want this situation to work. Stability without controversy. So let me throw this to you. Did you expect Mac Jones to be this effective if he was called upon, or did this surprise you? Simple yes or no in the comments. And if you appreciate these kinds of deeper breakdowns instead of surface-level takes, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. We're closing in on that 1,000 subscriber goal, and support like that helps keep this going every single day. All of this ties back to a larger trend, because when you look at the roster, the coaching, and the timing, it really does feel like things are coming together. This team isn't just surviving, it's building momentum. And when you dig into the numbers and the way they're playing right now, it becomes even clearer why this stretch matters as much as it does. When you zoom all the way out, it really does feel like this team is peaking at the right time. And that's not just narrative, it's showing up on the field. You look at the way this roster is playing right now, veterans and younger guys alike, and it feels like a group that understands exactly what part of the season this is. Trent Williams is a perfect example. He's still playing at an elite level, and it's wild how well this core is aging while still getting meaningful contributions from developing players. That balance is hard to find, and the 49ers have it right now. One of the best ways to see it is in the red zone numbers. Since the middle of the season, the 49ers are reaching the red zone more than almost anyone in the league. That alone tells you the offense is consistently moving the ball. And then when you look at efficiency once they get there, they're right near the top as well. That combination matters. It's one thing to be efficient in the red zone if you rarely reach it. It's another thing entirely to live there and still convert at a high rate. That's what separates good teams from teams that can make real noise. This is why the next couple of games feel so important. They almost feel like their own mini playoff run. Take care of business, and you put yourself in a position where everything opens up. Slip up, and suddenly the margin disappears. That's the reality of this stretch, and it's why these updates, these injury trends, and these quiet roster decisions all matter so much. So I want to know where you're at mentally with this team right now. Do you feel like the 49ers are hitting their stride at the perfect time? Or are you still waiting to be fully convinced? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to throw your Brian Robinson Jr. rushing yard prediction down there as well. I always love scrolling through and seeing how everyone's thinking heading into game day. If you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a favor and like the video, subscribe, and help us push toward that 1,000 subscriber mark. It really does make a difference, and it helps grow this community of 49ers fans who love talking ball every single day.